What a day. Nothing to do because there is no trading today. The markets are moving today, but it's because the Nasdaq and ES always move. But there is no volume, there is nothing to do in this day because the markets are closed today. Although the Nasdaq is moving, the ES is moving, the futures are moving, but other markets are all closed, like the QQQ, Nvidia, they're all closed. So do not expect a crazy move. I don't expect a crazy volume for me. So there's no point in trading because the technicals might not be clear. The technicals might not be how it normally is. So I just rather not even trade because I normally don't trade on these days anyway. So what's the point of me trying to trade just because I could trade? Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. It is the next week of June. It is the June 16th to June 20th. And we are going to break down this week. So far it is Thursday right now. The markets are closed. The markets are closed today, so I am not trading. I'm just sitting in my computer and just doing what I normally do. Just do what I gotta do. Just still have a routine. Still wake up early. You know, I don't want to just like be lazy and just do nothing. There is one more trading day tomorrow, and I will see if I do take any trades. And maybe I will. But for now, can't say that I am gonna take a trade. I would like to take a trade, obviously, but we will see. I don't want to force anything, but I did take one trade this week, which was the Monday. My previous video, I did have the trade there as well, but if you guys do want to watch that, but I am going to break down the trade. I'll also break down Tuesday and Wednesdays just to show you guys the market. I did take two trades on Monday. I've been drawing these little boxes right here. This is basically the calculator right here, like the profit and loss calculator. And I've been drawing that on my screen. It's not necessarily I'm taking the trade. I didn't take the trade right here, but I did draw it out and I did miss it. But I am still gonna leave it there because I do want to show like the trades that I could have taken and the possibilities that where have went and if it had hit my target profit or if I lost a trade. I didn't take this trade, but I did take a trade over here, and I am gonna break down the trade, show you guys the bigger time frames to show you guys where I got these levels. Showing you guys now the Nasdaq, the 30 minutes. I got this level, which was the 22,100. It was a level from the previous week, which was holding right here and here. And it wasn't really that solid around these areas around here, so it was kind of choppy, but I did have a potential level at 22,100. Then when we go to the Nasdaq 2 minutes, we see that in the morning it does reject right at the 22,100, and then later it's still rejecting at the level, and later it does give you a strong break. It does a retest, like a small retest, and then it goes up from there. Going to the 30 minutes now on the ES, we do see it more clear on the ES. First, on the previous week, we see it reject at the 2080 right there, or I mean 6080. We do have another supply zone up here at 6,105. So when I do go to the 2 minutes, in the morning it does reject right here, 6,080. Later it does break, and then it gives you a retest right here, and then you take a long right there. On both of those charts, you can see that early morning is rejecting right at those levels, and then later on it does break and give you a retest of that level right there. Breaks and then retest, and then you can take a long right there. So that was a play for the day, and I missed it. I didn't take it. So later on, it does kind of slide up. It slides up to the next rejection point, the supply rejections, and it's a bit too overextended, and I don't really want to short it. We still are in an uptrend, so I don't really want to take any like short positions, but it was pretty strong, to be honest. The supply level was like working really well. We can see that it does break down right here and then rejects again. It breaks down, it's still rejecting, so it's like a downtrend. At the same time as it keeps rejecting, the Nasdaq keeps doing the same thing, it's rejecting. So it was a pretty clean rejection, and if I did watch that more clearly, I could probably have taken it. As I kept looking to the downside, I kept seeing the ES like it was forming a bull flag. So it breaks up like this, it's slowly like going down slowly to do a retest. I don't know where the retest is, but it looks like a bull flag. So I thought maybe the market could just bounce up somewhere. In the Nasdaq, it doesn't look as clear. As you see, it looks kind of choppy. There was a level on intraday though that it was holding right here, how you see it is holding. So I thought maybe that could be the retest level right here. So that I just drew a line right there. I didn't really draw a line, but I knew that it could be around that area. And then I matched that up with the ES right here, how there is the intraday highs right here. It broke up from the morning. So I did draw it right there, like a line right there. And then what I saw was that there was a lower high. We see how there was a bounce right there. So I don't take it right there because it's too early. But then I saw a lower high forming right there, so that's why I took the entry right there. But it was a bit too early. I didn't give it enough space. I didn't give it this low right here, and that's why I lost the first trade. But then when I saw it still hold, that's when I did enter around this second candle right here, and it was a lower high, and then I targeted this high right here. I targeted that high, and that was a 2-to-1 trade right there. I could have potentially go for a 3-to-1, but it didn't really make sense for it to break this high and just like be really strong. So I just only targeted 2 to 1. As you guys see in the live clip, I do change my stop loss to break even after I hit TP1. Basically what I'm doing now is naming my target profits. So TP is target profit. I have TP1 and I have TP2 and I also have TP3. My targets are always going to be a 2 to 1. So TP1 is going to be like the first target. Let's say I'm risking $50, but I'm trying to make $100 because my risk reward is going to be 2 to 1. TP2 is going to be $100 and TP1 is $50. When I'm able to make a 1 to 1, which is going to be $50, I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. So if I do lose, I'm only going to be break even. So that is TP1. TP1 is always going to be a 1 to 1. Then 2 to 1 is going to be, of course, double the risk I take. So if it's $50, my TP2 is going to be $100. And then TP3 will be 3 times the risk. So it'll be $150. So I am going to play around with this. And it's almost like a trailing stop loss, but it's more of a calculated trailing stop loss. And it makes more sense because I'm basically looking at market structure, and if it's breaking down and I'm not liking it, then I don't want to basically risk all my whole position. Even though it could be valid still, I am going to play around with this. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do for TP3 because sometimes it needs a bit more pullback. So I am going to try testing it out. Like let's say it hits TP2 and then I put my stop loss up there. So I'm still going to make a 2 to 1 regardless. And if I do lose, I lose. I'm going to win 2 to 1. Anyways, you guys are going to see where I change my stop loss and like move it around and put it to break even. And now I'm going to play the live trade.
Order filled.
My first trade I did get stopped out pretty early. I guess I just didn't put my stop loss right at the lower here, so that's why I got stopped out. And I didn't really want to risk too much. I guess that's why. And I was like, I saw this nice wick, so I didn't want it to, if it did break it, then I was like, this might be weak. So that's why I did put my stop loss right there. And then I did get faked out, I guess, because it did go up later. And that's why I did take it again. My first trade was a $31 risk. My second trade right here, I did risk only $35 and I made $71. So that was a 2 to 1. If you do the math, I lost $31. Then later I made $71. So basically I am up $40 for this trade and for the day and also for the week because I did not take any other trades other than this trade. Going into Tuesday now, there was a crazy trade that I didn't even realize until like even yesterday, like Wednesday. And this was on Tuesday. The 6080 is still on the ES, is still rejecting like crazy, or the level is still playing a big role in the market. And the new level on the Nasdaq was 22,135. It was still rejecting. So that was a really good trade, but it did happen later day. Like if I did take a trade like from here, I risked this amount, then I made this, that should have been, or that could have been a 2 to 1. This would have been like a 4 to 1 or 5 to 1 right there. But that was later day. I wouldn't be targeting that. And yeah, that was around like 12:30, I believe. First, I'll show you guys the Nasdaq. Where I got this 22,135 was because the previous day, which was the Tuesday or the Monday, it kept holding around the area, and that's where I basically took my long. And then we can see that the other previous days that it was kind of holding here similarly. So I did have a level there, and pre-market was kind of rejecting there as well. And then we could see in that day it was rejecting this. My support level was the demand holds in the pre-market right there. Here's the ES now, and this is way more clear because we do see the 6080 level hold right there, reject, it holds right there. It rejects exactly at 6080, and then the Monday it holds 6080, then later it rejects again right there. It's like playing around the level. It's holding, then later it's rejecting, later it's holding, rejecting. It's pretty crazy in that level. Over here it rejects exactly at 6080, and then later the next day it holds at 60.80. The next day it rejects exactly at 60.80. So now we're turning previous lows into rejection highs, which that is crazy. And if I did zoom out, or if I did have time, then I could have taken the trade. And then now we go to the 30 minutes for both charts, and we see that it is the exact same thing for both markets. On the previous day, it's holding right there, it's holding, then later it rejects exactly at the previous lows on the market. And then when we go to the 2-minute time frames, we see that it rejects 3 times on that day. And then if you do, we could just draw a bear flag right there into that rejection level, and that was super clean, and I could taken that for a really good trade. But it was later day, so I could even taken it if I wanted to. And in the morning, which I basically left pretty early, I did start to see it start to reject right there, but it's a bit too early, and I don't like taking it like that because it's just not enough signals, not enough confluences, because it's just rejecting, and we never know if the market is strong. Here's the charts on Wednesday now. It wasn't really that clear. My levels weren't getting respected as much, and that goes to show that sometimes the levels that you chart may not be the best. It's not really showing you much, so like the levels are not that clear until like the bigger levels, which was going to be the same levels as before, the 60.80 and this 22,135. So these levels were like the smaller levels in the market that I just drew because it could be like a potential level. And that is my recap so far. I'm up $40. There is a trading day tomorrow, which is Friday, and I maybe take the trade, but who really knows. And what I like to say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.